Good morning. I am at the Tiger Cave Temple here in Thailand. Now, this place is amazing. I keep thinking that I've seen all the temples here and then I see something like this and get blown away again. It's just, they're so fantastic. And this one has, I don't even know how many, it's like a pagoda almost, where you're on the spiral stairwell going up the entire way. And oh yeah, there's another temple right over there. It could be a mosque. It's just, there's so many temples as you come in. And we got lost thinking that we were going to the right temple when it wasn't the right temple. Yeah, we're right next to so many other temples. Also, when we came up, there was a vernacular that actually, or funicular, vernacular, that's funny. Funicular, yeah, that came up to get us to the top. And then finally, just to go back to it, the pagoda deal, there's just Buddhas on every floor. And I'm kind of impressed because you can't see it's behind this building, but I'll just do an overlay of it. I mean, I climbed to the very, very tippy top of it, so I saw the entire temple, which was kind of cool. And every floor, every Buddha, and I filmed most of it. I might actually just throw it in at the end here with some music so you don't have to hear me huffing as I'm going up all those stairs. It's a lot of stairs. The weather today is beautiful though, and this temple is just so unique and so gorgeous. It was about an hour and a half drive outside of Bangkok to get here, but it was totally worth it. And I really appreciate my uncle for driving us out here. I mean, I would have driven myself if I had a car, but I don't, so I'll take what I could get. Other than that, I am not actually 100% sure of why they call it the Tiger Cave Temple yet. They do have tiger themes around here, but I'll have to ask my mom and uncle on why they call this the Tiger Cave Temple. That being said, they have all these cute little things all around here. Like there's a toucan right over there. But I'll check back in a moment. Mom wants to get going. Let's see if I can get it in the background. That's the pagoda thing that I'm talking about. Anyhow, I'll check back in a moment. Alright, so we are about to take off from this place now. And this place as in the Tiger Caves. And I totally understand why they call it the Tiger Cave now. It's because they have a cave where the entrance kind of looks like a tiger. I don't think it really came out in the photos or the video, and I'll throw them up anyways. But there's all these Buddhas and tiger statues inside of the cave. It's really cool actually. It's a lot smaller than I thought it was going to be, but I mean, it is what it is. And I guess the reference that I have for it is the temple in the Chiang Mai Chiang Rai area, where it's really, really large and deep, but the Buddha is very tiny. Whereas the Buddha here is very large and the cave is very tiny. So it is impressive how they got it in there. But they do have statues of tigers all over the place. And I wouldn't be surprised if you told me that tigers used to live in caves like that as well. But the whole thing was so well orchestrated, and there are, I mean, I will say that it is quite commercial for a temple, and there's a lot of places for you to pay for things, but everything is laid out very well and easy to do, to where you could actually donate the money and get whatever you're trying to do. So whether it be putting gold leaf onto the Buddhas, or donating a flower, or lighting incense and praying, it's all very, very simple and straightforward here. Really incredible temple. Like, really happy that we came here. I think we're gonna go get lunch next, so we'll check back in a moment because everybody's hungry and I know they want to leave. Back in a moment. Okay, so we are back at Cafe Mina now. The temple that was just at was right over there. This is on the way to the next spot. This is actually one of the famous like Instagram cafes that exist here in Thailand that I've been told about so much, and I could totally see why. The place is literally gorgeous. There are so many picturesque spots here that it doesn't make sense not to take photos here. Like, it's just so crazy. And if you're not taking photos here, I think like you didn't come here for the right reasons. And so it's just too easy to get like good shots here. I feel that's like everything, everywhere you turn is a good shot. And we haven't gotten our food yet, but our drinks have been fantastic. And they have like an actual espresso machine, which is kind of cool. They're like super expensive from Italy. So I will mention this. The stairwells here are super crazy. And I think I might actually kill myself going down them. Like, this is super narrow. The stairs are about a half of my like shoe. So if you're not careful, I could clearly see myself tripping on that. But that being said, the place is just so well put together. It's just so pretty. Like, and we're here in an off season too, because all this yellow is supposed to all be green. And I don't know, like just walking along this whole entryway. Now, this is one of a series of cafes. Like the guys to the next door, they have like a whole like Ferris wheel and everything. And then the guys to that next door, they have the stairwell to heaven type of thing. So you could totally see how it's like a huge touristy thing to do, as well as like an influencer point on why they would want to be coming here to check it out. The prices are decent. Like most other places, they do dual pricing. So there is a foreigner menu and a Thai menu. And the simple way to do it is, if you don't read Thai, you don't know that there's a Thai menu. I mean, that's of most spots. I just think that it's funny because the foreigner menu actually had more items than the Thai menu. And Mom kind of got upset when she went to go and check out, like she went and got food, and then when she went to sit down, the table next to us, which were all foreigners, they had all this food, and Mom's like, "Where'd you get all that food from? None of that's on the menu." And like, "What are you talking about? It's all on the menu." And Mom realized there was 2 menus. So yeah, anyhow, this place is pretty awesome. Not bad. All right, we'll check back in once the food actually arrives. And so we've finished up at Cafe Mina and are now at the largest and oldest monkey pod tree in Thailand, and it is pretty amazing. The tree is massive. Like, it really is massive. It's hard to get all in one photo, actually. And so it's kind of cool. They have this whole like walking path around it, which is pretty neat. It looks like there's a whole market associated with it as well. Not bad. It is handicap accessible, which is pretty funny. There is definitely some chanting going on in the background, so there's a temple somewhere around here. Oh, I could see it. I could see the jetty, I think it's what it's called, down in the distance. Why don't we take a quick walk on the boardwalk, see what we could see as we go around. I'm actually quite tired, but not bad. Like, it's really well maintained. The tree is really pretty. There's not that much that you have to do while you're here, I would say, but it is definitely it's like peaceful, and the weather's really nice. There's a path that goes outside along the tree as well. It's pretty funny because the tree is so old, and I'm pretty sure it's just so like heavy that the branches are having trouble supporting themselves, like right there. That being said, I was flying the drone at Cafe Mina, and that's when the food came. So I'll have to depend on Lynn's photos of the food in order to show them what we got. It was, the food was actually really good. The drinks were really good. And the strangest thing was I noticed that none of the cafes that were near it had any customers. Which was super weird. Like, how is this place cracking and every other place just nothing? And it's not like you couldn't see the coolness of the cafes from the outside. We literally drove by a place where there was a walkway and like all this like vegetation and everything. It was just like, wait, what's going on? How come nobody's at that cafe? Like, was their food horrible or?
It's a tourist spot because of that restaurant.
Yeah. Like, people just go to that restaurant as a tourist. But it's really close by to here. It was about maybe a 10-minute drive. The weirdest thing was you had to do all these U-turns because there's all these canals that you can't go. There's no bridge to go over them. So, oh, and then there was also construction going on. So they're making a new bridge that'll get here a lot faster. But we're here now. Gonna walk around a little bit more, take some more photos and video, and then yeah, on to the next spot. Back in a second. Alright, welcome back. We have left the monkey pod tree and we've made it to a place I never thought I would have ever gone, which is the bridge of River Kwai. This is the infamous bridge that was built by POWs during World War II. I'll have to go back and look at that. I don't know if it was actually built by POWs or repaired by POWs, as in it was destroyed and then they had to repair it. So it was one of those things where, man, Alec Guinness, I think his name was, the gentleman who is the original Obi-Wan Kenobi, starred in a movie called The Bridge over River Kwai, and this is that bridge. It is in really good condition still, and it's actually still in use, which I think that's just incredible. I'm crossing over the bridge right now because I want to see this. They have a prisoner of war camp thing over here and another temple over on the other side of the river. Ironically, we were originally on that side and then drove and crossed all the way over to this side and then came out to the market area where we parked, and now I'm walking back to the actual sightseeing stuff. But the bridge is fantastic. Underneath it, they're doing water sports. I don't know if you can hear, but there's a jet ski going right underneath me right now. There it goes. And the before there was like a sports boat coming by pulling a few jet skiers. Lynn said she saw. I didn't see it, but really active river. The river's huge. And I don't know if I'd describe it as clean looking though. Particularly after coming from that national park or forest. The water here looks kind of murky. The weather is great. It's not overly hot. And because we're on the water, it's actually quite windy. Oh, that's neat. There are wires that are going across. Don't know. They look like phone wires. Pretty crazy. Oh, I was saying before, they actually still use it, and there's a station behind me where you could actually get on and off of the train that uses this track still. There is that. Mom is currently looking for a place to go get dinner, and Lynn was actually hoping to go to Thum's place, but I was just thinking because we're already out here, we're like 2 hours away from Thailand or Bangkok. Like, I'd rather just eat out here or find a place to get dinner out here. If that doesn't happen and we go to Thum's, it's not a bad day. We're gonna have to figure out what it is. This bridge was our final destination for the day, I believe. There might be one little extra tidbit that's planned to go to. I don't know if Mom still wants to go there or not. We kind of got a late start because we weren't planning on eating breakfast at my cousin's house, and we ended up doing that because they actually had a ton of food and Mom wanted to try something, and she told them last night, and my cousins went out and found what my mom wanted to try and brought it all back. So it is what it is. I'm pretty happy with where we're at right now though. And if this is where we finish, then this is where we finish. Like, I feel that today has been accomplished just by doing this. Everything else has definitely just been a bonus. Anyhow, I'll check back in a moment here once we have something a little bit more solid to go on. Back in a moment. Alright, welcome back. And I'm currently walking through the prisoner of war camp market. I think it's a night market. Lynn and I are trying to give guesses to what it is. Our best guess is that it's a night market. Yeah. There's a whole other section here which I didn't film or take any photos of because there's nothing in there. Which I'm like, what is that whole area? Is it like a dance area or something?
Like sandbags and army vehicles, but an open space.
Whereas the rest of this is like all street food stalls. And then they actually have a stage for music. So looking at it, it's pretty weird, but you gotta appreciate the hustle, as Lynn put it. Yeah, Mom found a restaurant. She called me and she wants us to get back over there so she could take a quick photo of us on the bridge and then we could go and get some food. But other than that, the temple I was able to walk into, but after I walked into the temple and took some photos, a train actually crossed the bridge, the River Kwai Bridge. So I ended up trying to run back to film the train crossing the bridge, and while doing that, the temple closed. So I do have some photos of things inside the temple, but not as many as I wanted, and I definitely didn't get any video that I really wanted. I got one of me entering the temple, and that was pretty much it. And so, I mean, again, it is what it is. We're here pretty late, so like I said, I don't know if we have that surprise thing at the end here. We'll find out. It'll be a surprise for me too in a second here. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and head back across the bridge so Mom can take the photo and we can go get dinner. But back in a second. All right, and this is that little surprise area that we're going to. Unfortunately, it's closed. It is the Kanchanaburi Skywalk, or Kanchanaburi Skywalk. That was very unsatisfying. But the Skywalk is brand new, and it actually is really, really pretty here. Like, they did a really good job of creating this whole area. The cement looks like it's still wet type of pretty. And I kind of wonder why they closed so early. Like, it's all well lit here. You could actually go up. Everything's pretty. I mean, they have really good separation for people walking, bike riding, like jogging, anything. It's really, really good. I think, if anything, there's a ton of birds in the air and they're flying in circles. I think they're getting bugs is what they're doing. And there's a ton of birds like right above me right now. If anything that I read about it is any indication of the type of place it is, the biggest complaint was that you had to pay for shoes in order to go up. And that's actually a complaint from the locals, because they actually used Thai or tax money to pay to build the thing. And so a lot of them are like, wait, why do we have to pay for the shoes to go up and experience the thing? Oh, okay. Alrighty. I totally understand why it closed early. It's because they're not done. This is a incomplete area. It just stops right there. And if I'm not mistaken, I should be able to just see. Okay, well, there is foundation. They're still building the ground right here. All right, not bad. I mean, it's cool. I totally get it now. That makes sense. I wonder how much further it's gonna go, because it looks like they have 2 more towers or pillars like this that are built, and then a third one that's being built, and the metal parts for the glass walkway are set for them to actually put the glass down, but they've not done so yet. Other than that, I think this is it for the night. My uncle was talking about wanting to bring us to a market, so we might actually go to a night market, but that's debatable. We don't know what's actually happening so far. But the night is young. It's 6:30, and yeah, I think I'll check in one last time, if anything, for the night. Anyhow, I'll be back in a moment. Alright, and so we are now back in my cousin's place. I am charging items, and I'm going to take the footage off of this and back it up onto the hard drives. And yeah, I think that pretty much finishes off our night. We were thinking about going to a market, but when we drove by, the market, like a night street market, the market wasn't there, so could be because it's a Thursday. You know, you never know. Maybe it's a weekend market only. But we were sorely disappointed at that. And when my uncle was like, what else do you guys want to do? Mom said, let's just go home. And that's what we did. Oh, we did find a geocache, though. At least I did. Lynn found out that there was a geocache right next to the skywalk. And it was not even 5 minutes away via car. We drove over there, walked up. Lynn talked to the next door neighbor of the place, and she said it's super easy, like you can't miss it type of deal. And I was looking around, and then there was a jar with a note in it.
Hanging inside of a cup.
Hanging inside of a cup, and
Really something you look for.
yeah, I was so like, obvious. I would put that it was more along the lines of too obvious, which made it hard for us to find, rather than like a new geocacher who just might be looking for something. The clue was sweet. It was something about Sweden. Just Sweden. And then there was a flag of Sweden, and then a cup with a flag of Sweden painted on it. And then in that cup was the jar with the script, yeah, for the geocacher. So Lynn was able to get her other geocache out of the way. She already got the stamp though, or the badge for Thailand. She got it earlier when she did another really cool one. Yeah, the River Kwai, where you have to do this like sign language K, ASL K, and then that was pretty much it. After the geocache, that was when we found out that the market was actually closed or not there, and we just turned around and just came straight back. So that's gonna go ahead and end it for us today. Tomorrow, I don't know how much I'll be actually doing, because we have to go do some stuff for my dad in the morning to kind of finalize, 10 years later, I guess, finalize documents about his death. And yes, I won't be filming any of that, because that'll be at like a bank and a government facility. So hopefully that won't take too long, and we are starting kind of early in the morning. It was my plan to do that so that I could come back and do more stuff at night. But that being said, we'll have a good night and see you in the next video.